Hello there. Welcome to another edition of Leading Edge, our weekly leadership resource to support you on your leadership journey as we seek to raise effective godly leaders. Now, last week we concluded our 4-part series on the magic of great teams, which was basically focused on helping you in building and managing high-performance teams. And based on feedbacks and questions we have received, we shall today start some sort of complementary new series that we've called the Great Managers series. Now, in this first part, we shall discuss what I have called the 7 portraits of a great manager. Now, a key point we had stressed in the last series is that organizational resources, be they human or material, are neutral in themselves. Leadership is the catalyst that transforms them one way or another. One of the most critical decisions any organization can make is therefore the decision regarding who is placed in management roles. Now, the type of managers appointed in an organization carries great consequences for the health and growth of the organization. Great managers help organizations to thrive. Bad managers cost organizations enormous losses, social, financial, and even reputational. Now, a Gallup study, in fact, shows that managers are responsible for a variance of about 70% in employee engagement and satisfaction scores of institutions. The reason is simple. Employees experience the organization through the interactions they have with the managers in those organizations. In the same organization, 2 employees can have 2 significantly different impressions and experiences of that organization. Is a function of who manages each of them. Study after study shows that performance fluctuates significantly within the same organization, varying widely from team to team, unit to unit, department to department. Such inconsistency in the experiences of employees and invariably their performances is squarely a result of how they are managed by their people leaders or managers. According to Gallup, there is a direct correlation between employee engagement or satisfaction and various critical performance indicators like productivity, profitability, staff turnover or staff retention, customer satisfaction, and what have you. And employee engagement is significantly related to how employees experience the organization through the managers. So getting great managers is a must if an organization must optimize its human and material resources to the highest possible level. Right. So let's look at this. Why do managers matter? Now, in summary, managers matter a lot in any organization because, number one, they make hiring decisions and therefore they determine the kind of people that join the organization. 2, they are the funnel through which the organization's vision is cascaded through the rank and file. Employees experience the organization's vision on a daily basis through the lens, the words, and the actions of the managers. Next, managers, in a sense, are the very flesh and blood of the organization that the employees know. Yeah? They can inspire and motivate, or they can dispirit and frustrate their people. Now, they align people to realize corporate goals. Their capability, therefore, in doing this determines to what extent those goals are achieved or not. Managers build relationships and connections. Such relationships can empower and sustain their people. That's how employees are nurtured into great talents, or sometimes you see great talents turned to frustrated workers. It is all the magic of the manager. We can go on and on. The point is, managers matter, and great managers matter a great deal. If managers matter this much, then every organization should invest a lot in identifying and grooming great managers. Great managers make great organizations. Now, most organizations are, however, saddled with bad or average managers. Some studies show that only 1 in 10 managers are truly great managers. As Gallup shows, 80% of the employees that leave do not leave the organization, not because of the organization. They leave their managers. They leave because of their managers. And those who stay often stay because of their managers too. So bad managers are a drain on their institutions, while great managers build and retain value for the institution. So what does a great manager look like? Often this is a matter of context. This may depend on the company, may depend on the team and its situation, but there are some general indicators. So let's look at the 7 portraits of a great manager. So we go. Number 1, the lion. The great manager is a lion. He demonstrates managerial courage and command. Let's face it, managing people and resources is not for the chicken-hearted. It is not for those who are unsure, who are hesitant, and who are timid. The great manager does not play the ostrich. He doesn't bury his head in the sand in the face of challenges. The great manager takes charge. If you must be an effective manager, you must play the lion. You must face issues squarely. Say things the way they are. Make the decisions that you must, especially tough decisions. Take full responsibility. Now, nothing robs a manager of the trust of his team as when he hides from the challenges facing the team. Team members want to see a man or woman of courage, one who stands for what he or she believes in and is not afraid to be unpopular. Managerial courage is to see and read reality correctly, no matter how tough, and to be able to present that reality forthrightly to the team and to lead the charge in seeking a solution. It is to manage the storm, however noisy, disruptive, hazy, and even calamitous, making relevant decisions along the way. The great manager must therefore be assertive. He doesn't play the avoidance game. Like marketing expert Michelle Smith says, fearlessness is an essential badge for any effective manager. Managerial courage also requires you to be in command. This is to keep your eyes and those of the team on the goal. It is to provide direction. Now, no one under your charge should second guess the path to go. Model firmness, right judgment, and resilience. Sometimes this may require you to go against the grain, to challenge the status quo. So be ready. Be ready to receive criticisms, loads of it, to run into conflict and manage them, both for yourself and for your team members. All this come from the clarity of the goal. A captain without direction and a commitment to that direction is a disaster in the making. Don't be that. Managerial courage also requires making decisions on your own and taking responsibility for the consequences of those decisions. The great manager is therefore someone that exercises reasonable autonomy and discretion. No one wants to be managed by a manager that's afraid to make decisions and who must be told what to do. Managerial courage is to make the right decisions at the right time. Now, a right decision made at the wrong time can be as bad as a wrong decision or no decision at all. A number of managers keep halting in making decisions until it's quite late, when the decision becomes either inconsequential or a damage may have already been done. Now, the last part of managerial courage that I need to mention here is the capacity to provide feedback, balanced feedback. The great manager is not afraid to give feedback, both tough and soft. He is secure enough to give appropriate, even sometimes lavish commendation. He is also courageous enough to call out improper behavior. So you want to be a great manager? Then be a lion. Take the charge in your space. Do what needs to be done to get the team towards its goals, regardless of the challenges. Okay, so number 2, the deer. The great manager is a deer. The deer is a symbol of empathy. Now, there is nothing like empathy to connect you to the hearts of your people. Once you have their hearts, you will get their hands and feet moving. So the great manager is not just the commanding lion, even if it is in a military context. He also carries the grace of the deer. The deer is known for its compassion, its sensitivity, and empathy. The great manager demonstrates sensitivity to the emotions, the feelings of other people. So he or she is empathetic. The empathetic manager wins with people. This is because he also shows the commitment to their own winning. Empathy is to know and understand others in ways that enable you feel what they feel, see with their eyes, and therefore be able to demonstrate sincere interest in them, interest in their goals and aspirations, interest in their challenges and their struggles. Compassion is typically seen as a fickle thing in organizations, especially in most for-profits. However, studies are showing consistently that managers who complement the lion mode with the deer mode achieve greater results with their teams. Empathetic managers demonstrate emotional intelligence. This starts first with the manager knowing himself or herself. This is because if you don't understand your own emotions and master them, you can't genuinely demonstrate empathy towards others. The great manager shows sensitivity and support towards others in the team. Such sensitivity offers the manager the benefit of getting to know his or her people at a much deeper level. This way, the manager is subsequently able to position the people appropriately within the team, assess them accurately, and generally build a more productive team. The other point then is that the empathetic leader remains positive even in the face of challenges or when team members appear challenged. He exudes contagious enthusiasm. He creates a sense of realistic hope, not an overly unrealistic optimism. He recognizes the challenges, but can see and point the team to the possibilities beyond those challenges. That's the difference. People prefer a positive manager or who wants to work with a consistently negative manager. I don't. So, be the dear manager. Secure a place in the hearts of your people and watch them give you their hands and their feet and even some more. Okay, so number 3, the ego. Now, the third portrait of a great manager is the ego. It is a manager with vision, a manager that demonstrates inspiring leadership. Vision is contagious. The great manager is the one who has the capacity to show the people the destination even before they take the first step. This is what adequately fires them up to do whatever it takes to get to the goal. Most managers just know the task before the team and drives the team to accomplish it. The approach is often a push approach. What distinguishes a great manager, however, is that he is able to show the team why the task is meaningful, what achieving it will result into, and the larger benefits it will portend for all. It is a pull approach. The truth is that when people don't see significant meaning in what they do, it becomes a drag. But once they see meaning, what becomes a mission they will legally sign up for, regardless. Only great managers bring their people to this point. The great manager inspires rather than drives his people. Don't forget that. All right. Now the fourth one, the owl. Now the owl represents competence and wisdom. The great manager must demonstrate competence and intellectual capacity. A competent manager inspires productivity. Now, working with competent managers is a great boost. They simplify what would have appeared as complex things. They enrich their people's experience and knowledge. They help the team achieve their goals better and faster. Incompetent managers, on the other hand, are a drag on the team. They leave the team on a sort of trial and error, or will I say a test mode most of the time. They slow things down because of their own ignorance. Productivity is hampered because the boost that leadership should have ordinarily unlocked is withheld, as it were. So, great managers keep evolving, they keep learning, and they keep growing. They are smart, they are critical thinkers, they are logical analysts, and they sport a sixth sense, leveraging their own proven intuition, especially in times of ambiguity and uncertainty. Okay, so we'll go to number 5. And now number 5, the donkey. The fifth portrait of a great manager is the donkey. The donkey represents humility and vulnerability. Now, humility and vulnerability in leadership break down walls and hierarchies and opens the space for trust and loyalty to thrive. It takes a lot of courage, by the way, to be humble and vulnerable as a manager. This is because it can sometimes be abused by those around you. But with them, you attain the highest level of authenticity. That's where true leadership resides. Such managers recognize their humanity, their fallibility. They know that in real life, there are no superheroes, just humans. They are quick to accept their mistakes without any justifications and without any excuses. They are open to divergent points of views and allow superior ideas and arguments to win, no matter where they are coming from. They know their areas of deficiencies and are not afraid to surround themselves with people who are stronger and better than themselves in those areas. Like someone has said, vulnerability tastes of truth and smells of courage. So, dare to be humble and vulnerable, and you will see the trust and loyalty quotient of your team simply soar. Okay, so number 6, the ram. The sixth portrait of the great manager is the ram, a symbol of strength, determination, courage, and action. Yes, action. The great manager gets things done. That's the way to build great momentum. Managers drive execution. A manager that halts at this point loses his or her relevance. The job of the manager is to midwife strategy through the execution push. Great managers are therefore practical and action-oriented. They don't merely watch events. They take appropriate actions with the team's goal in mind. They deliver results. They are execution-driven. In our fast-paced world, an institution can ill afford inaction. Inaction can be suicidal. Take note of that. Managers therefore need to act appropriately and timely. Great managers learn how to manage the temptations of procrastination, a fear of failing or taking risk, and even perfectionism. Great managers understand that they are called to deliver solutions, not explanations, to execute and not to make excuses, to thrive and not to trade blames. Notice also, no manager becomes great by doing everything themselves. Great managers achieve results through their people and are happy to share the credit with their people. So, they delegate. This helps them operate optimally. Those who don't delegate typically leave money on the table, as it were. They can't optimize performance. So, to be a great manager, be the ram. Act with courage. Create solutions and deliver results. Finally, number 7, the fox. The seventh and final portrait of the great manager we shall consider is the fox. The fox is a political animal. The great manager must have political sense that enables him effectively navigate himself and his team through the often wild, politically charged maze that most institutions are. Let's face it, there are competing interests in virtually all organizations, with people working, even plotting and scheming to get ahead of others. Where resources are scarce, as is often the case, where there is ambiguity, where there is unclear rules, where there is dearth of information, the jostle for advantage only heightens. Okay? So great managers are those that take the realistic approach in managing the political space to secure the best outcome for themselves and for their teams. The great manager then should be the fox by demonstrating political sense and not necessarily being political. I hope you know the difference. There's a difference between being political and having political sense. So there are various ways to show political sense. Number 1, great managers learn to build strategic networks, not in terms of the number of people they know, but in the quality, in the power, and the diversity of the people that they have built strong connections with. Networks help the manager build alliances across critical stakeholders that provide greater cooperation, collaboration, and support. This becomes very useful in achieving your team's goals and advancing you and your people. Great managers demonstrate social astuteness. That's the second part. This is the ability to read and anticipate situations and to respond to them appropriately. Great managers are also deliberate about leaving good impressions. Now, good impressions are best done and achieved through building trust. In being honest and authentic, great managers inspire others to trust them. Credibility strengthens relationships, while the lack of integrity erodes relationships. Now, the other part of showing political sense is that great managers must demonstrate awareness of the politicking that their own team members may also be playing around them. Now, armed with such awareness, they are able to maintain a level head and not be swayed unreasonably by mere political actors in their own teams. They remain firm, fair, and forthright. They also have the courage to check any negative political activities that can unduly disrupt team cohesion and impact the delivery of the goals of the team. So, they don't give preferential treatment. The great manager realizes that he is a role model. He ultimately needs to live what he preaches. This is the best way to keep the political balance within the team. Great. So here we come to the end of this episode, the 7 portraits of a great manager. As we close, let me note that if the resources of an organization are neutral and it is the manager that catalyzes them into the outcomes that organizations get out of them, then we need to know how to raise or become great managers ourselves. We need to know what separates average managers from great managers. Now, in a Harvard Business Review article entitled What Great Managers Do, Marcus Buckingham of Gallup International notes that the difference here is that while average managers play checkers, great managers play chess. If you know the two games well, you will remember that in checkers, the pieces are interchangeable. They are uniform and move in the same direction, though you may need to plan and coordinate those movements. So the average manager, which means most managers, sees each member of the team as an interchangeable resource. So he applies basically the same standards for them and expects them to deliver a certain set of uniform results. The game of chess, on the other hand, is completely different. Each type of piece moves in a different way. You need to therefore know the path that each piece moves. So winning a game of chess requires that you deeply think through how you move each piece. It's not a random game. That's my point. There is a uniqueness to each piece you pick and the move you make with it. This is the fault of great leaders. They don't put everyone in the same basket. They try to uncover the unique abilities, personalities, and the context of each person and fits them where they can be their best and deliver their best. It takes a great deal of humility, empathy, and courage and commitment to play the chess game of great managers. But that's the league of winners. The reward is that you build your people into the best version of themselves and deliver sterling results in the process. This is therefore my invitation to you to become and to remain a great manager and be a part of building a great organization. Great. So here we come to the end of the session today. I want to thank you for joining us. I want to encourage you to continue to like, share, and comment if this is useful to you. And let me invite you, if you are not already following us on all our social media handles, to do so today. Thank you again for joining. This has been Leading Edge.